to solve for the radius, diameter, area, or circumference of a circle. So here's a circle, and you're given the circumference. The circumference is the distance around the circle one time. The formula for circumference is circumference equals 2 pi r. Now in this problem, you're given circumference to start with. So you're going to put that 42.25 in place of c. All we did is move this 42.25 here in place of c. What we want to do is solve for r. To do that, we have to divide both sides by what's beside the r. So we divide by 2 pi. Now you can cancel out these 2 pi's on the right and be left with r, which is what we want. But then you have to go in and do this division here. Now there are two ways to do this with your calculator. One's right and one's wrong. We will purposely do the wrong one first. In your calculator, type 42.25 and then hit divide, and then 2, and then the pi button. Hit enter, and what do you come back with? 66.366. Now let's do it the right way. Type in 42.25, divide by, and then hit a left-hand parenthesis, then 2, pi, and right-hand parenthesis. What do you get back?
Wait, I got 11,050. Hold on.
You should get back 6.724296 and so on, but we're going to round this to the tenths place, so you should get an answer of 6.7.
Can you repeat that?
Again, you're given the circumference, and we know that circumference is 2 pi r. So plug in the 103.6 for c. We've replaced this with this. To get r by itself, you have to divide both sides by 2 pi. And when you do that on the right, they cancel out. And you're left with r. On the left, you have to type in 103.6, divide, left-hand parenthesis, 2 pi, right-hand parenthesis. And you will come back with 16.5 when you round it to the tenths place. Bring this one up and drop it off. Alright, on the practice problem here, we need 703.62 and set it equal to 2 pi r. And then divide both sides by 2 pi. Doing so, well, I didn't need to put that big of a line on the pi, but we'll go with it. 2 pi's will cancel out on the right. And then over here you have to do this division. 703.62 divided by left-hand parenthesis, 2 pi, right-hand parenthesis, and you should come up with 111.9846, but we're rounding this to the tenths place, and it comes out to be 112 even. We'll start with 302.73 and set it equal to 2 pi r. And divide both sides by 2 pi. That means you can cancel out here and be left with an r. Now you have to do this calculation. 302.73, divide, left-hand parenthesis, 2 pi, right-hand parenthesis, and come out with 48.2. In this problem, you're given the area and you have to find the diameter. The formula for area is A equals pi r squared. You're given the area, 463.21. So plug that in for A and set it equal to pi r squared. We want to get r by itself. And the first step to doing that is to divide both sides by pi, because that's what's with the r squared. And when you do that, they cancel out on the right, leaving you with r squared. We are not going to calculate this just yet. We're going to leave it alone and simply write 463.21 over pi. That is because we still have to find r. We only have r squared now. To get r by itself, we have to undo that square. So we find the square root of both sides. And when you do that, the square root of r squared is r. Now you can find the value of this here. And here's how you plug it into your calculator. You want to hit the square root symbol first, and that's going to be second x squared on your calculator. It'll pop up with a square root sign and a left-hand parenthesis. Type in 463.21 and then hit divide and then pi. Put a right-hand parenthesis on it and then hit enter. What do you come back with? 12.1. Yep, 12.1 is your radius for this problem, but the question is asking what is the diameter. So what do you do to the radius?
Square.
Double it, yeah. The diameter is the distance across the circle, and the radius is only halfway across. So if you multiply this by 2, you'll come up with a diameter of 24.2.
And that equals.
Alright, on this one where you're given the area and you have to find D. So the formula for area is pi r squared. You're given the area as 6257.26 and set it equal to pi r squared. Your first step is to get r squared by itself. So divide both sides by pi, and those cancel out. Now you're left with 6257.26 over pi, and on the right side just r squared. To undo the r squared, you need the square root of both sides, and that'll leave you with r. Now you got to type in the problem there on the left, so hit second x squared and then 6257.26 divide pi, right hand parenthesis, and you'll come out with 44.6. That's r, but you have to double it to get the diameter. That should be 89.2. Try. You're going to need actually a red marker first, 416.2, and set it equal to pi r squared. And then you want to divide both sides by pi. That's going to leave you with 416.2 over pi. These cancel out. You have r squared. And now you need the square root of both sides to get the r by itself. So square root 416.2 divide pi, right hand parenthesis, and you should get 11.5. But if you double that, you get the diameter, which is 23. Circumference, and you have to find the area. You're given the circumference, so you have to find the area. Your first step is to set the circumference equal to the circumference formula, 2 pi r, like we did before. And then divide both sides by 2 pi. again like we did before. So you end up with 712.3 over 2 pi, and that's equal to r. We have r now, but what we're looking for is a. It's the area. So don't forget that the area formula is a equals pi r squared. What you want to do is plug in this value in for r. Don't simplify it yet. A equals pi and then times 712.3 over 2 pi, and you have to square that quantity. Here's how you type it into the calculator. You want to hit pi first and then times. Now you want a left-hand parenthesis, 712.3 divide, left-hand parenthesis, 2 pi, right-hand parenthesis, and then another right-hand parenthesis, and then x squared button. What do you get back? 40,375.32. On this problem, you need 122.63 and set it equal to 2 pi r. And then divide both sides by 2 pi. Cancel and be left with 122.63 over 2 pi equal to r. You're going to plug this into the area formula, which is pi r squared. So A equals pi times the quantity squared of 122.63 over 2 pi. On your calculator, you have to hit pi first, and then times, left-hand parenthesis, 122.63, divide, another left-hand parenthesis, 2 pi, right-hand parenthesis, and then the x squared button. And you should come up with 1196.7 for the area.